writing for other people, creating a graphical user interface. Part 2, the code. So in the previous nugget, we made a beautiful, well, semi-beautiful graphical user interface. Now it's time to put some code in that thing and make it actually do stuff. Now in the previous nugget, we created a graphical user interface. Now it's time to add some code and make it do stuff. And the neat thing here is that you're really just adding PowerShell commands. So we'll start by testing commands at the command line and then pretty easily bring them in and add some life to this GUI. So let's make this work. Now, when this thing starts up, if you remember, I set this entire group box to be hidden. If we look at its visible property, it's false. So that means all people are going to see is this top bit. I want them to type in a computer name and click Get Logs. Now, I don't want to do anything while they're typing. I don't want to do anything until they click Get Logs. So this button will fire an event called a click event, and I can attach a PowerShell command to that. So by double clicking the button here, I get into the Get Logs, right? That's my button name. I get into its click event. And it's reminding me that I should put my custom script here. Okie dokie. Log names equals get event log, computer name, and this is where I need to get the contents of that text box, which was text box computer name dot text. So $text box computer name represents the entire text box. It has a lot of properties, a height, a width, a name. The text property accesses whatever someone typed into it. And I just want to list those log names, and I want to select, oh, and you know what? This is where it's easy to do something wrong. Let's copy that to the clipboard and open the shell real quick. Really should always test these things at the console. I have to give it a computer name, don't I? dc.lab.pri-list. Okay, so what I get back is a log property. Let's make sure that's actually the case. Select object, expand log. Yes, so if I execute this command, it's going to get me a collection of strings, each of which is a log name. Let's put that on the clipboard. Oh, you know, I'm not going to paste that in because I've already typed all that. Expand, not exclude, expand log. So now that gives me all of the logs. Now I want to add them to that list box. And the neat thing they do here is when you add a list box to a form, they dump in code called load list box. So they've added this little helper. I'm trying to get to the top of it. They've added this little helper function called load list box. And it looks like I can pass it a minus items. Yeah, I give it the list box name and then an array of items. And it looks like it'll load all those in. Let's try it. What could possibly go wrong? Load list box. Oh, you know what? There's a load combo box, and that's technically what I'm using. Should I be using load combo box instead? It doesn't appear to matter, but since I'm using a combo box, let's try load combo box. Load combo box, and my combo box is, what did we call that? List log names, and I want to populate it with my log names. Then I don't think I named my group box anything. Oops, I need to get back to my designer because I need to refer to this. What's it called? It's called group box 1. Let's call it group box log list. I don't know. I'm going to call it something. It's better than Fred. Oops, close that start page. I don't need that. Back to my script. So after I've populated the list box, look at this. Group box visible equals $true. So that should go get the log names from the specified computer, put them into the list box, and then make that entire section visible. Now, a little thing about combo boxes is sometimes it won't automatically select the first item in the list. We're going to see. Let's save this, and let's try running it, right? And to do that, we just hit Run Project over here. Okay, there it is. That's good. dc.lab.pri get logs. Okay, so two things I'm not happy about. First of all, it looks like at runtime my checkbox size is just a little too small, so it's doing this wrapping. Need to fix that. And it's also not selecting any of my logs. So this looks blank, which I find a little confusing. So let's just abandon ship. Let's go back to the designer. Let's make this checkbox a little bit bigger. Hit save there and go back into the script. And after I finish loading this, list log names, selected item, selected index equals 0. So the selected index is always -1 if nothing is selected. The first item in the list is 0 if I'm remembering my documentation correctly. So let's try running this again. dc.lab.pri get logs. See, that's nice. Checkbox looks pretty. Active Directory Web Service. Now from here, nothing's happening, right? We haven't coded any of that yet. Well, time to do that. Let's double click the OK button. And this is what will happen when they click OK. So we had a couple of ways we could do this, and I think here's how I want to do it. If checkbox newest 50 dot checked, then events equals get event log from computer name, whatever is in my text box text field, log name, whatever is in my list box selected item, newest 50 because the checkbox is checked. Else, else p, else, copy, paste, and for this one we're just going to get rid of the newest 50 because we're going to get them all. Now that I've got those things, I got to decide what I want to do with it. I've put them into a variable. I don't know that I really needed to do that. It kind of depends on what I want to do with the output. We're going to talk more about output in the next nugget. So for right now, let's just do something quick and dirty and take events and pipe it to out grid view. This is kind of a neat little trick, out grid view. Yeah, all right, let's run it. Worst case, we get an error message, right? dc.lab.pri get logs. Go for the security log and only get me the newest 50. Okay. Awesome. And it has pulled up the latest 50 in a grid view, which is then sortable, and I can add filtering criteria, show me the ones. Let's add something sensible. 4624. Show me the ones where the instance ID is 4624. As I type, it fills. I love this grid view. It's so cool for that. I can close that. This is still running, so I can come back and type something else, or I can close it, and that ends it. And so now you can see how easy it is to take the basic commands that you've been running in PowerShell all along and just kind of jam these things into this GUI that we've built. Look, in less than 20 minutes, we've built a fairly decent little tool. A neat thing about this, now I promised to show you some code, so that's what I'm going to do. Let's do export. I'm going to export this whole thing to the clipboard so that I can open the ISE and we can kind of see what this script actually looks like. So this is what you would save into a file and send to someone else. And there's quite a lot of stuff. You can see that a lot of the code this is creating is just saying, here's where to put the button, here's how big to make the button, here's its name, here's the text that goes on it. This is all the code you would be typing manually if you were not using that tool, PowerShell Studio, to generate the GUI. So that's all that stuff. Most of what I've done is here. This is the code I wrote. In fact, that's the only code I wrote. Everything else was kind of filled in for me. So out of 468 lines, I'm responsible for, what is that, about 10 lines? Maybe a dozen. But I can save this now. Looky here. I'm going to save this. Just put it in my C folder. GUI.ps1. I can give this to anyone. I can run this, and it'll work. So I'm not in PowerShell Studio anymore. This is just naked Active Directory. Security, newest 50, grid view. So I could give this script to other people, and now that's a tool they can use. Another thing this does is it can package this. So this you would have to have the tool for. This would produce an executable, and that's not really compiling it. PowerShell still has to be installed on the destination computer, wherever you deploy this to. But it's going to produce an executable, so you've got a single file someone can double-click, and there's a neat thing in here that you can specify alternate credentials. So you could give someone an executable that would impersonate, say, a domain admin, so that the person you gave the tool to doesn't have to be a domain admin, but they can run the tool that might need domain admin privileges. It's a neat little workaround to security sometimes. So there we go. We made the code. We made the GUI. We added code. We've even kind of done a little bit of outputty type stuff. And you've got an idea of how to deploy that. Save it to a script if you want to. Make it into an executable if you're using this tool. It's not that hard. It's pretty easy. So we've conquered the graphical user interface, and now we've added some code to make it work. So far, the output that we've presented is pretty simplistic. We've just used some very simplistic stuff that's built into PowerShell. So in the next nugget, we're going to look at how to present that output perhaps a little bit more elegantly, at least give you some options for presenting different types of output in different ways. So now that we're halfway done, I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.